All right, we're going to try this again. If somebody pops up into chat here, tell me if this thing is working or if it's not. I'm going to check on my end. Says I'm live. Says excellent condition. Let's see here. Is this going to work better? I hope so. Can you guys... Audio and video sound are great? Okay. All right, cool. Hopefully it stays that way. This is what happens when you try and make things better. They get worse. Is it better than yesterday? Hopefully it's better than yesterday. We'll see. Whatever. All right, markets. All right, they're good? Okay, cool. I'll check them later, and then I'll just have to do more testing. This is what happens when you switch to a completely different operating system. You got a learning curve, so I'll try and get it done fast. All right, so we'll go over the portfolio real quick, and then we'll jump into the markets because I think everybody's wondering what happened today. Have a look at Enphase. I can do that. So anyway, if somebody queued something up in the last stream, you're going to need to queue it up in this one, okay? I'm sorry. But since I screwed it up, that's the way it's going to have to work. Sound is worse. What if I bring in the mic closer? Is the sound better now? It might not be as high quality. I dumbed it down from 320 to 162. But is it like doable, the sound quality? Okay, cool. All right. Well, let's just go with it. I'll figure it out later. I'll look at the stream and see what I need to tweak and then test it before tomorrow's stream. All right. So, portfolio, first and foremost. Today, Flux did well, still up 11.5%. That was kind of all over the place. Watch out for that one, guys. When I looked at it and I bought into it, I pointed this out in my post today too. I moved the market with like $45,000 worth of buy-ins. So definitely be cautious with this one. It doesn't take a lot of money to move Flux. And if you haven't watched the video, watch the one from Rex. He did a great job explaining his due diligence and thesis behind it. And he's been an advocate for a while. I watched his video after our conversation. I think it was yesterday, maybe it was the day before. And then also performed some DD myself. And it just looks like a great company in a sector. They deal with lithium batteries and configuring that into things like forklifts and other kinds of technology. Just areas where other people haven't ventured. And so their growth is good. We could probably go over that in a little bit here, but yeah, it's a good company, I think. But don't put a lot of money into it because there's not a lot of volume and liquidity in it, as I saw earlier when my $45,000 purchase pulled it up, I think 4.5%. Just me doing it at market. And Rex advised that people do limit orders so that you can slowly trickle into it. That's probably not a bad idea. Anyway, yeah, portfolio I think went down about 40K. A lot of stuff got hit today. It's funny too because like the things that were looking better earlier in the day, like even like SoFi, Tesla was up 5% today. Like a lot of the things that were performing well just got crushed later. But still, winners today, Tesla, Matterport, Flux, DLO, and it looks like some MicroStrategy up almost 1%. So that did all right too. And it looks like some of my hedges printed a little bit today with Starbucks and Best Buy. So that wasn't too bad. And let's see here. So let's move on. So that's that. I still have also too, I have roughly 450 to 500,000 in cash. I did a little bit of shopping today, but I'm going to be cautious on it because I think we're still going lower, and I'll show you guys how much lower I think we're going to go. And I feel a little vindicated because people were talking to me like I was an idiot or a flip-flopper, I think is what one guy said before I blocked his ass. And yeah, I have flip-flopped when I get worried about the direction of the markets, and I think it has the potential to go down. I might take some money off the table because I don't need to be 100% invested all the time. So if that's flip-flopping, man, I'm all about it. All right, here's what I bought today. I bought Hood, ArcG, CleanSpark, probably bought ArcG too soon. Clean Spark, some more hood, Palantir, hood, flux, hood. So I got a lot of hood. I got it at all kinds of different prices. But I'm happy about this. So I exited a $275,000 worth of call contract leaps, and now it's dropped a decent amount since then. I don't know, maybe like 8% or something like that. And I don't have that downside 3x multiplier, and now I'm buying it when it's down another 3-4% today. I'm cool with that, man. I'm all about it. I still like Palantir price action too. I'll talk to that in a little bit. And again, I picked up some Clean Spark. I think it was down like 3.5%. Not a ton, but just a little bit. I will slow down my bias though, because I'm getting confirmation that things could look scarier, like I thought they were going to for a bit. Yeah, he did. He did. Oh, Amit? Which Amit? Not my boy Amit. You're talking about Amit that was in chat here, right, Michael? Oh, all right. Here we go. Heat map. The heat map for the day looks pretty red, but it actually looks okay here, because if you look, it still looks kind of green too. You can see some green in here, but if you switch it to the last 4 hours of the day, you can see the markets got punished. They got punished real good, and it was broad based. I mean, it was everything, right? That's how you know you're starting to see an actual, market decline, because it's not just a few things getting hit. It's all of them. All of them. All right. So let's go over here to the S&P. So I was talking about yesterday how I thought we might break down under this fib and we needed to find support at it. We broke under it pretty clearly, down 1.23% on the day. I think that can continue to go further. Might find support around here, but I actually think we could drop another roughly 6% on the S&P from where we're at. So good, nice healthy retrace. And I'm happy about this. I want this to happen. Bitcoin held pretty well. It's dropping a little bit now, but it did pretty good. We'll look at that one too. But yeah, I think we could drop another 6% on the S&P. So just be prepared for that. Lockheed Martin's going up. That's because of the geopolitical risk. People are worried about the Middle East all of a sudden, Ukraine and Russia, China. I don't know. I've been worried about that the whole time, but people are starting to get concerned now. So that'll probably be fleeting. Oil's up. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, so I think we don't see real support. This is healthy for markets, guys. I know that the narrative in the coming days is probably going to be that the sky is falling. I actually think that things are sitting pretty good, which is funny, right? Because 2 days ago, I was like selling $750,000 worth of stuff and gaining cash. And now I'm telling you that I'm becoming more optimistic. I'm becoming more optimistic because the market needed to do this. You can't have just straight up price action month after month after month. It's not healthy. Bull markets do best when they retrace, go up a bunch, retrace, go up a bunch. So I want this to happen. This is my goal, and I'm stoked that it's happening. But yeah, maybe another 6%. Maybe we're 20-25% of the way through, and we don't even have to go all the way down to there. But that's where we start to see some really strong volume again, is around the 4,800 or maybe 5,000 range in the S&P. We could stop somewhere around there. Either of those would be helpful and safe and good technical levels. Now, what's interesting is on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ's kind of been leading the decline here because, again, it never got above the golden retracement zone, right? It just failed every single time. Well, it's also under the 50 moving average, which is not super ideal. So it's kind of leading the decline here. It would have been nice. What you want to see to confirm like a bounce is coming is that it's above the 50 and that maybe it wicks down, but it finds support there. You could feel better about that kind of move. You can't feel really good when all the local volume here, we're underneath of it and we're under the 50 moving average and looking to decline more. It just says that at a minimum, we're going down to like this 17,700 range and probably at least to the 100 moving average, maybe down to where this big old gap is over here on the NASDAQ. So again, I'm saying they're roughly about the same between the NASDAQ and S&P. I think they're the ones that are going to get hit the most. And so another 4.86 on the NASDAQ maybe in a drop, and then about 5% on the S&P. Not too big of a deal. Now, what's cool is the Russell. So the NASDAQ was down 1.55%. The S&P was down 1.23. What outperformed? The Russell, only down 1.08. Now, considering the Russell hasn't outperformed in a couple of years, it's kind of nice to see it doing it today. So I think the Russell could have a drop too. And it could go, I mean, it could drop another 5% too. It's possible. We could see that. But the 200 moving average on the Russell is probably going to be strong support. Not a flip-flopper to take profits. See, no, it's not, man. It's actually kind of smart to take profits when a market is really overextended. And if we looked at the S&P, I mean, it was that, right? When we look at the weekly time frame and we go over here, if we go to this level, and I want to show this again because I think this is important. People don't focus on this stuff enough. So if I go back here on the S&P and look at levels, there were comparable to the last time in January of 2020. And then the one before that was in January of 2018, right? So technically we were tied for second place here, or third. But that goes all the way back to, where did we get to these levels before? 1997. So if we got second or third place for the most overextended we can be on the RSI on the weekly time frame, going back to 1997, I didn't have gray hair in 1997. I was a pup getting out of high school in 1997. So that was a long ass time ago. And when you're that overextended, I mean, it's crazy to me that people thought I was nuts because I took a little money off the table. But whatever. So I think we can go lower. And I could be wrong. Again, I bought today. I've only got like $500,000 in cash left. So I've been buying, right? But I'm going to probably slow my roll on that. Maybe dedicate 50 a day, maybe 100,000 to buying. And I'm just going to take it slow, and then I'll do it more aggressively if we get down near my targets. If we drop another 5-6% across these indices, I'll probably be more aggressive with my buys. Now, this is what I believe to be a key primary driver for today's drop. It's a couple of things, actually. We'll look at economic pieces, but oil is breaking out of what I was hoping was going to be like a bear flag-ish, and it's not, because we have these geopolitical tensions that seem to be heating up. And so oil has reached, on the daily time frame, its highest level on the RSI going back to September of 2023. So it's going back a ways. Let's check out the weekly. The weekly, I think we still got room to run. Yeah, we do. So, I mean, maybe we even get up to $90 a barrel. The bullish oil guys could be right. We could get up to that. But if we do that, we'll be overextended on the RSI on the weekly time frame at levels we haven't seen since June of 2022. And I just, again, outside of war, and war is possible, outside of war, I don't see us going much higher. But it's a concern, right? People are concerned about inflation, and they're concerned, I don't like, long oil would have been a better hedge before it went up. Long oil would have been better at $70 a barrel. That would have been your hedge. That's my take. I wouldn't do it now because I don't actually think it's going to break out that much higher unless, again, war or something like that. And I think there's better hedges nowadays. I think Bitcoin and companies like Palantir will actually do pretty well with war. But yeah, so the dollar today, though, the dollar's looking weak, which I'm loving. We haven't seen that for a while. So it's good that the dollar here is starting to curve down from this 100 moving average. Now, if it closes above it, again, that'll just lead to the pain train. So if we got oil rising and we got the dollar gaining strength, that will be tough on markets, but I don't expect it to be too bad. Now, again, I was telling you I was worried about the move in the index, that basically the volatility index for bonds. I was worried about bonds trying to lift off here, and they did. They're starting to break up into that previous head and shoulders, and they're starting to climb higher. I do think they'll find resistance, though, up here at the 100 or maybe even the 104. So it'll be hard to get back above that because it's such a dramatic head and shoulders. So again, maybe we drop for a little while, but I don't expect it to happen for long. You've been long since 1968. Well, yeah, I don't know. Oil doesn't interest me. All right. I love this. The fear and greed index is not an extreme greed or greed for the first time in a very long time. So it's going back to what? November? Yeah, November. We're at November levels, like early November. So 5 months, we're back to levels from 5 months ago. That's actually good. I like the fear. This just means that there's a greater chance that we'll get closer to a bottom, and you can't be mad about that. We want to see a precipitous drop in this. It just means we're getting closer. It's pretty. I mean, this is a dramatic decline. Maybe tomorrow it goes down even more, but I love it. Like I'd love to see us, switch over here and actually get it to where we're in fear. I think that could come tomorrow even, if we bleed out. Maybe we'll get a bounce tomorrow. I don't know. It all depends. Whatever the narrative of the day is, right? Whatever the markets want to push, whatever they want to put out in the news media. That's usually the way the market goes over a short period of time. All right, so I want to jump over a few things. I want to look at economic data. I'm gonna cheat from now on. I think I'm gonna try and be quicker, and I'm gonna try and post on X, and that way I can just pull them up in here and then tell you my thesis on it. It's not showing too good on the bottom here. Let me see if I can fix that. No, not that. Maybe if I do this. There's this zoom feature I want to use. No, I just can't get it up. Okay, whatever. I don't care. All right, so the United States initial jobless claims, they're heading higher. That's interesting. So this is the Challenger, and then there's the Challenger job cuts, but this is heading higher. It's not anything too dramatic yet, right? It's not like we're getting above, these levels that we saw in November or October of this last year where it started to look a little scary. That's not happening yet. No major trend yet, but it's something to keep an eye on, right? We don't want to see jobless claims rising. Now, this is actually good. United States exports, I don't know if I put the imports one up here, but it climbed too. But the thing I love about exports is we actually saw them go up, micro to Mac. I love that. We saw them go up to record levels in USD. So we're seeing record levels of US dollar exports, and that's not a bad thing. Imports, I'm a little bummed out about because it makes me fear our dependency on China. Imports, we actually had increases too. We're not at record, so that makes me a little happier. But we have some increases, and I don't love that. Now, another thing with the initial jobless claims that I don't love is that the Challenger job cuts showed that we were ticking higher. And if we tick much higher, then we're going to be going back towards pandemic levels on the job cuts. So it says U.S.-based employers announced plans to cut 90,309 jobs in March, the most since January 2023, compared to 84,638 in February. In March, technology companies announced 14,224. Also, the government announced 36,000 job eliminations. It's pretty crazy, right? You don't expect our government to eliminate jobs. Aren't they just constantly expanding them? Anyway, it says, where did they lose the jobs? The highest monthly total since 2011, including 10,000 cuts from the Veteran Affairs, 24,000 cuts to the United States Army. So we're decommissioning our military while China's ramping it up. That's probably awesome. But it's probably just benefits stuff. So if you're a veteran, you're probably getting fucked. But outside of that, I mean, they're saving money, right? That's a lot of it. I want to show here that the CME Fed Watch tool actually still has us a 2-to-1. So despite these narratives changing, we're not seeing it in the Fed Watch tool. They're still saying there's a 2-to-1 odds that we're going to be lowering in June. So the day-to-day narratives might change, but that message has not. Not much. There's a bunch of Feds talking today, and I don't know if it was Kashkari, who it was. A couple of them were saying like, hey, maybe no Fed cuts this year. And that's bullshit. But it gets a narrative out there, and the narrative could last, maybe, I don't know, maybe a month before all of a sudden it starts to change. Maybe 6 weeks. So you just have to be prepared for that. Tomorrow, we're going to be getting more data. We'll get unemployment rate, which will be important. If that ticks to 4%, man, if that ticks to 4%, I could see people getting scared. Again, that would be a perfect catalyst for a move lower. It doesn't have to. It all depends on what the government wants to do with the data because it's pretty easily manipulated. Average hourly earnings, again, just like we're going to see participation rate. We got government payrolls, manufacturing, non-farm payrolls. It's going to be a huge day for employment data tomorrow. And we have consumer credit change and used car prices. And we've seen how well BYD, Tesla, and big auto are doing in the auto sector with these high rates. They're getting crushed, just like I've been talking about for a while. So I expect those could look ugly too. But it'll be an interest. Tomorrow will be a mover, man. We get some bad data, market's going to move. So be prepared for that. Let me see. I want to see if there's anything else I should be looking at. Starting to figure out how the commands work here. Oh, yeah. You know what? I will zoom in just a little bit. I'm going to get this new magic trackpad, I think, that will allow me to be able to zoom in and make things to where, they're really focused and just manipulate these things quicker. So hopefully it helps the presentation in the future. But I wanted to point this out. So it says breaking. Elon Musk agrees with posts saying Tesla is so advanced on autonomy that it can't see the second place in the rear view mirror. Now, Elon might make promises sometimes that are not great with the timeline, right? But when that man tells you that they're crushing it, you best fucking believe it. So this ain't no joke. It's real. All right. Tesla begins making cars in Germany for export to India this year. I actually still have to read that one. I never got all the way through it, but I do love to see this. Just at a glancing note, I love to see this because it means that they're probably looking to finalize some deals with India and get it to where they're working better with them. And maybe it says it in the article, but I'm very excited. Tesla Chan's a great guy to follow too. He does a lot of stuff with like the Asian area. I don't know if he's based out of Hong Kong or China or somewhere else around there, but he's pretty awesome to watch. But again, it just shows the strength of Tesla. And again, before the broader market started to really have issues, Tesla was testing this resistance line that went all the way back to last year, the end of last year. So that it's ready to jump, guys. Also, real quick, Bitcoin. I wanted to say this. Just in, $932 billion asset manager DWS launches physical Bitcoin ETC in Germany. This is just more inlets, more inflows that are ready to happen. Very important stuff. PayPal. Speaking of PayPal's stablecoin, here we go. Zoom enables PayPal USD as a funding option for cross-border money transfers. I think that this is going to gain more and more traction. I've been talking about how this is going to be a narrative. Their stablecoin will be a narrative, and it'll be something that can help them make more money and help them make more revenue, if nothing else, off the float. Let me see if there's anything else here. Oh, I did buy Palantir today. I think I got like 90,000 in Palantir. Yeah, something like that. Just the stock. I just wanted to diversify. Again, I actually think this is a decent hedge against war. I like the fact that they were climbing back up above this after a large wick down. A little bit lower today. We'll look at that in a minute, but I'm liking the placement of it. That might be it for here. Oh, and I did post this, and this still holds true. And we'll pull up Bitcoin just in a second. So I just said, hey, we want to get above this resistance line. We're actually going back down now to this volume shelf, so we need to hold that level. Bitcoin's kind of retraced after hours here. So let's look at it real quick. Yeah, so we're still good, right? Like we're still above peak volume over the shorter time frame. It all looks good there. What we need to see though is we need to see ourselves maintaining this level, hopefully above 67,000. If we start to drop down from that, look at that wick. I mean, it's a big wick, right? This is where my little zoom in thing would have been really freaking cool. I can't wait to get that. But yeah, so this looks like more pain to me, honestly. Especially if we close underneath, 67.4 or something like that. This under peak volume, and that doesn't happen. I think it's 7 o'clock now. I don't know if my hours are right. Maybe it's 6. Depends on the time of year. I haven't really been paying attention a lot lately. But if that happens, we're probably going lower on Bitcoin, and the miners are going to get wrecked, and probably a lot of other stuff. So look forward to that. All right. Grab some gum real quick here. All right. So let's pull up some other things here and see what they look like. And then I'll start to pay more attention to chat. Sorry if I've been passing it up. Right? The more you think about it, it doesn't even matter how much or how many. Couldn't it just be one big one in theory? So it's all noise. Not sure what that's in reference to. Let me see here. I'm going to move my other chat window. I'm going to try to. Will you let me? Maybe you won't. How do I do this? All right, I don't know how to do it. I'll leave it alone. All right, So chat's going to be a little weird today. We'll see if I can make it better. All right, so let's hop in here. Let's look at Tesla real quick and see what it did. It looks like it's kind of hockey sticking down too. Then we'll get to your request. Not too bad though. Again, I just love the fact that it tested that resistance perfectly. And it's down up 1.62, but down 0.22 in after hours. I think, I mean, it could go lower. We'll see. I think Tesla is going to be a little more resilient, but we'll see. I haven't sold any PayPal options, not one, not at all. Only ads. The only thing I ever sold was PayPal stock, but I've got every option from 2025, and I've got all the ones I've acquired for 2026. It's a lot of money. It's like $400,000 or something. So I'd say it's pretty high conviction, especially the 2026. All right, let's just look at the rest here. We'll just keep rolling. We're going to try and roll quick. All right, ARKG. ARKG took a hit again today, I think. Bought a little. Again, I expect it to find some support on this green line. If you look over here, you'll kind of see, I think we start to build up some volume here. But if the market really sucks, I mean, it can go lower. I do plan on buying more, but it'll be January 2026 leaps. I just want to give myself enough time to be right. So I do have 2025s, but I'll be adding a 2026. Next, PayPal. That candle don't look good. Oh, for ARK? Yeah, those look great to me. I love it when things are dropping. Those are the candles I get excited about, personally. All right. I would take a red candle over a green candle any day of the week. Now, there should be some support here on PayPal, and it'll be interesting to see if that plays out, because you have that previous inverse head and shoulder that tried to happen, failed, and now it almost looks like a cup and handle, but it's weird. But theoretically, we should get a little bit of support right here. So we'll see if that happens. We'll see if it shows strength and struggles to stay underneath this line. I'll be very interested to know. Why does this say stone? I need to rename this. 1 second. Yeah, Enphase is going to be heavily rate dependent. So just like Tesla, it's really going to depend on narrative. I mean, Matterport is too, right? Anything real estate, anything that's tied in with taking out loans to build out things is gonna be rough. So Enphase can do well, but it's gonna have to get past that hurdle, man. So we need to see rates coming down. All right, so that's PayPal. I actually think this could be finding support again. We've got peak volumes here. We'll see. Maybe we drift down into the like 60 range, or I'm sorry, 59-ish to 60 range for a bit. We wouldn't stay there for long, I don't think. But again, broader markets are going to get dragged. I just think that this one for a change will be an outperformer. Square. That one got its ass handed to it today. And you know what? It ain't done. So Square wants to go down to this peak volume, like 70 something, 71 to 70. We close a gap here, and we close a gap, huge gap here. So anywhere from 71 to 69, probably a good place to buy. I'll look to accumulate more there. I don't know that I'll go options right now for Square, but I'd look to get some stock maybe in that range. All right, let's see what else we got here. So have we done Palantir yet? Let's do you. Then we'll get to your guys' requests here. iRobot, I think they're going to go bankrupt. All right, Palantir. So Palantir down almost 1% today, and then 0.31 after hours. Not a bad number, man. Again, it's back under this line, so we'll turn it to resistance again. But it's a fighter compared to these others. There's a lot of things that rolled over today. So I think it actually looks pretty strong. It can, though. It totally could still drop into the 20 range. drop under this fib to the 20 and maybe even like the 19s to close some of this gap. So you just got to be prepared for more downside. Personally, I don't care about another 20% or 30% Palantir. I will add to it because I've been out of it for a long time and I've been wanting to get back in. So this is my opportunity to. And get some diversification and maybe a hedge against war. I don't know. All right. Let's see here. Let's look at SoFi. That was a funny one, right? SoFi narrative last night and this morning. Super bullish. Everybody's like, oh my God, SoFi. Everybody's paying attention. It's so positive. We're finally getting our opportunity for it to go up. Oh, sorry about that. And what happened? It shit the bed. But it's trying. It's trying. It's just the macro that sucks. But look at this. This is what's impressive. It's actually, it was down a little over 3%, right? A little over 3%. And now it's up 1% in after hours. I like that. It's pushing up against peak volumes again. And look at how many wicks above this. It really wants to go higher. It just hasn't found the opportunity to. Still down roughly 74% from its high. I'm bullish SoFi. Probably going to look to buy stock if we get a strong pullback. Yeah, that Oracle announcement was great too. Palantir's just firing on all cylinders, it seems like. So yeah, they're doing really good. But yeah, I'd probably buy more stock. I don't think I'll get calls because I don't like the January 2026s yet. Personal opinion. But I would buy the stock, and I'll probably look to do that. It just all depends what my favorite things are. Now, boy, if hood doesn't look like a tweezer top, it looks pretty ugly, honestly, which makes me super glad I sold 275,000 in calls. Very glad. Wish I would have sold all of them. I've still got like some dust left, like 15 grand or something. But yeah, so I think it's kind of inevitable here to me, unless we get a rebound in the market tomorrow. You see we have peak volumes right here, right? So if we get a rebound tomorrow, maybe we go higher and everything's good. But if we don't, I'd say it's kind of a minimum that we test down here into the 17s, maybe the 1750 range to at least test this other fib. And there's not a ton of support. I mean, we could go 17s, we could go 1650. Absolute worst case would probably be touching the .78 at the 14 range. I would be a heavy buyer in the 14 range, man. I might even be buying leaps, probably January 2026, but I'd probably be buying leaps at that time. Maybe June 2025 if I could get them. I haven't looked. All right, what else we got? I'm going to do some DLocal, DLocal Limited. It's not Mercado Libre. Like, that's the big one across South America. But these guys are kind of like second best. And when the rest of the market was bleeding, we're up 2.53% and pushing on the 50. So I think there's a chance that we're going to try and push higher and get up to the 100 moving average again. If that happens, man, it looks pretty bullish. I'd be happy to see it. Oh, I didn't say that right. Let me do this. So yeah, so I'm hoping that goes down. Matterport, let's pull that one up. Then we'll get to some Bitcoin related stuff. Matterport went up 1% today. So it actually got a little bounce, which is surprising because you think like the narrative for rates coming down is probably weakening, but it still wants to go. I got to clean this up. Too much clutter. But yeah, it still wants to go higher. So let's see if it can get above the next fib at the 230 range. It might get pounced a little bit more here, but I like the fact that it's up on a down day across the broader market. That's always a good sign. Let me pull up Flux, my new buddy, and then just a huge disclaimer because I made this mistake myself. And then I warned you guys about it, and then I saw a bunch of people jumping into it. So I'm thinking some of you are it. Watch out, because this thing has low volume, very low volume. Today was a volume spike. You can see how there's been interest on these volume spikes, and it's looking good. It looks like we might turn around like a W-type bottom here, 1, 2, and then we might go higher. But I think I caused some of that price action today. So this is not a heavily traded company. There were only 70,000 shares traded on this, and I don't know, man. I think I bought a bunch. I bought 10,000, I think. So 1/7 of those was me. So if you're buying this, you can't buy this in large volume. You got to listen to Rex. You got to do this with small amounts, incremental amounts, or you get screwed. You think we should do options for Enphase? I don't right now. I mean, I'll look at it and see if I think there's a good deal there, but I don't know. Let me just jot it down here. Is it a good time for options contracts for Enphase? Okay. I'll take a look. Because Jesse has got dry powder. I do have dry powder. I like dry powder. Can you take a look at... Okay, so I'll look at those in a second. You think we should do... No, okay. Palantir announced partnership. Yeah, okay. All right, cool. Let's keep going. So yeah, so this is up 11.53%, but I was 1/7 of the volume today. So don't throw in a huge amount or you'll do what I did. I drove up the price 4.5%, I think, myself. So, I mean, that sucks. You don't want to do that. In investing terms, you don't want to move the price. You want to get the lowest price, right? So if I buy again in the future, it's going to be in much smaller increments. And I should have looked at volumes just to realize, that wasn't what I should be doing. I guess average volume is 70,000. Oh, okay. Volume today was 323. That makes me feel better. So I was 1/32 of the volume today. But I think I initiated a lot of it. And it's weird when you can see that because I went right over here. I bought right here. So, yeah. So you can definitely see movement. So this is such a baby. Don't go crazy with this. The thing I like about it, though, is this is an $83 million market cap. And the financials on it, I'll just show them again for the people that didn't see this yesterday. The financials are actually pretty attractive. I mean, look at this growth. Not crazy, 7% year over year. They had kind of a downward for a little bit, but look at their net income is getting really reasonable. It's getting to where they're not going to lose money in the future. And cash flow is getting a little bit better. And estimates look good. It looks like there's continued growth here. And one of the things I love is the insider activity. Again, you just see them buying and no selling whatsoever. Institutional ownership climbing. For such a small. Here's the thing. This is so tiny of a stock that right over here, operating leverage looks nice. It's a great way to just see their revenue growth versus their expenses aren't really going anywhere. And so if these guys can continue to grow in the business that they do, and let me just read it off here to you. So Flux Power specializes in creating advanced lithium-ion batteries for industrial applications, such as their pioneering blah, blah, blah standard lift pack for forklifts, leveraging their proprietary battery management system and in-house engineering for enhanced performance, longevity, cost efficiency over traditional lead-acid battery. So this is smart. There's some of these things, like most forklifts in a warehouse have to be powered by batteries. It's crazy that they haven't actually switched to lithium already and they're using lead acid batteries. But I can see more of this, and I don't know that these guys have a major competitor. So it's just an interesting play for a long without devoting too much capital. I have about 50,000 in it, which isn't a crazy number for me, but again, it's just not a huge number. It's like 2% or less, 1 point something. And right now their market cap's 83 million. But if these guys do good and they start to get really positive and they start to increase revenues more, you could see this thing jump, over the years quite a bit. That's why I'm interested in it. All right. What else did I miss? I got Block, got Flux, got all these. Okay, let me get MicroStrategy and a few others. Check chat real quick here. Thank you, Jesse. What software do you use for financials? It is visualstocks.com, but instead of an S on visual, it's a Z. So visual stocks, visual with a Z, stocks.com. It's a great company. My buddy Alejandro runs it. It's kind of pretty much him, but he does great work. He's a great programmer. All right, MSTR, let's look at you. MicroStrategy. I gotta save this one this way. All right, so again, just kind of meandering. I said this before, but this one could chop for a while just based upon how the chart looks. Might be a topping pattern too, though. We do have this downward resistance. So again, I think MicroStrategy starts to look really attractive in the 1200 range, maybe even 1100. Worst case, absolute worst case, if I scroll all the way back here, absolute worst case, Bitcoin's fallen a shit ton. This thing in the $800 range. I mean, that's a 50% drop. But you got to realize this is a levered play. If Bitcoin, for some reason, does go down to 52, or even just like 57, if it does 57, this thing's probably going to get into the 1100s. And if it goes down to 52, I mean, 800 isn't crazy for MicroStrategy. I would load the boat at 800, by the way. All right, let's pull up CleanSpark, Cypher, and then I'll look at some other stuff. All right, CleanSpark. Again, I kind of said this before, but ugly pattern. It's a double top. It's like an inverse W pattern, right? That's what the double top is. And it's creeping down here, and it just looks like it wants to rupture. So I bought a little bit of CleanSpark, but I ain't buying a lot more. I'll buy a lot more CleanSpark in the $12 range. 12 to like 10. 12 to 10, this will be very desirable. And I'll just gobble this shit up. Cypher's, I think, gonna be more stable. I don't think, well, I mean, it can still drop a ways. Let's just see here. Cypher. Let's probably get rid of that one. Got duplicates here. I'm trying to clean my house. Can't have a dirty house. All right. Cypher. So again, Cypher has key volume support that we're starting to run near. Now, it could break down. We could see all the way down to like $3.30. I would pick up Cypher pretty heavy if we get down into that. All right, and let me see. I need to see if I can fix my window here, man. I got it like all jacked up. Let me see. Timestamps. I need to see if I can send this. Zoom out. Zoom out. I can't move my stupid window. 1 second. Let me try it again. Oh, now it's like full screen. What the fuck? 1 sec. I gotta fix this, guys. It's all jacked up. Let's see. Control. Just Command F. Is that a thing? Nope. Okay. That doesn't work. Now I just can't even see anything. Oh, you know what? Maybe if I do this. This is the joy of learning something new. Oh, no, you didn't. I got this chat window now that's taking up my whole screen, and I don't have... I don't want to screw it up. Let me see. View. Reset UI. Are you sure this will hide additional docs? You'll need to unhide these docs. Yes. Okay. And you're still seeing me. That's good. That's good. I think I made progress. All right. I don't know how to get my other chat window up. Chat's going to be screwed up today, guys, because I'm learning stuff. So I might have to jump back into it and just not pay attention for a bit. All right. Let me scroll back up. So I'm going to start at the top here since I can't pay attention to chat. I might jump down to the bottom again if I need to. All right. In phase. Yeah, I'll look at in phase. I'll look at it real quick. I just want to see if it's been beat up. I thought it climbed recently. That's why I'm not as interested in it. Because again, super rate dependent. And honestly, this, I don't know, man. This is an arguable pattern. It could be, but the price action just doesn't look like it. So it could be an ascending triangle where it wants to break higher. It could be that. It's going to have a pivotal play here soon, one way or the other, either up or down. So we're either breaking down soon or we're going to Valhalla. But I don't see Valhalla yet because people are talking about no rate decreases until 2025 now, which is absurd. I don't think that's true. But that narrative, I mean, how do you go up in a narrative like that? How do you go up when people are talking about no rate decreases? And then you're in the solar business. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hopefully you guys are still there. Give me a second. I hit the wrong button. Still learning. Okay, hopefully you guys are still there. You're still there. Good. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. I hit the power down button, which is right next to the delete. Again, it's like the joys of learning something new. So this is called an ascending triangle. Almost look like an inverse head and shoulder, but you can see we tested back down again. I don't love that we're below peak volumes again. We're just right below it. I don't know if you can see that. That kind of sucks. If anything, I think we're going to break down and maybe we could go to the $100 range again. And if the market really got bad, maybe we could go to 86. But so could this break higher? Yes, potentially, but it could just be a bearish pennant for now too, because rates aren't coming down and we've got bearish divergence, or I should say bearish convergence. It just doesn't, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And I'll check option strategies for it too, offline, and see if it looks like there's anything interesting here. But I do worry about this one and its ability to maintain. I mean, it lost all of today's gains in after hours. So that kind of sucks. All right, let's load another one. What else we got here? Hopefully I don't miss any because my chat's all weird. All right, J. Ron, what's up, man? Jesse, two things. One, cannabis sector had been pumping recently. The Fed news in the afternoon. You should look into the ACB. Yeah, do these guys make any money? My worry about cannabis, man, is it's such a huge, like, everybody's in it play. But I want to look at them. Let's just see here real quick. I want to see if nope. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up at least one or two of these, just to see what they look like. Add them to my catalog, because maybe you have a point. I mean, cannabis got destroyed for a long time, and then I know they were getting better, but I don't know how much that's based on reality, and how much of it is not. What the fuck? Whoa, dude. Oh, okay, good. It did get a little bounce. I didn't have it on log. You got to have logarithmic when you're looking at something that's this big of a disaster. Again, look at this. If you didn't realize the triple top that was here, right here, you should have been out. Especially when we chopped under this 100. At the very least, no excuses for not being out after 400. No excuses whatsoever. Now let's look at the finances real quick. Yeah, but that's just, I don't know, man. So sometimes people think that there's a deal because something's been really undervalued, and maybe you smoke weed. I don't know. Maybe you ingest it in some way. Whatever. To each their own. But it doesn't make it valuable just because you like it. Now, I do like this. They're actually guiding towards higher earnings in the future. I don't hate that. Institutional ownership is dropping though. So that tells you, like, why are institutions bailing on this shit? Maybe here's what they were doing. Maybe people retail buying into it were exit liquidity. Very possible. I'm not saying it's the fact, but it's possible. But here's the problem. Like, growth was 4% year over year. And look, going back to 2018, we're at the same levels of revenue. Sure, you're not losing as much money, but that doesn't make it a good deal. Debt is low. I like that. They must have done a reverse split or something. Shares outstanding has changed. Short interest is 24%. Yeah, I don't see anything to really love here, at least for this one. Before I pull up the stock on the other one, I want to look. So what is it? They're valued at what? 111 million? Yeah. So CGC, let's look. That's Canopy Growth. Yeah, I remember them. I've never really owned marijuana stocks, I don't think. So this is worse because revenue's been in straight decline since 2020. I think a bunch of people stuck home at their houses would have smoked more dope, but that didn't help Canopy Growth. Now their cash is getting down to just ridiculously low levels, guys. That's not great. That's bad. Operating expenses are dropping, but are they just firing people? And again, shares dropped. Probably a reverse split. Something. Just looks like a fucking train wreck. Oh, I guess insiders are buying and institutional ownership hasn't been horrible. Maybe that's a sign of things to come. But no, man, the revenue is just, it's just a pain train. And this one's almost $1 billion. So I don't love that. I just don't, again, it's a race to the bottom with these guys. Let me see what else we got. What was the third one? See if this one's any better. GRWG. Grow generate. See, the problem is there's just so much competition, man. Every company jumped into this. Like it's like the gold mining days of yesteryear. Everybody's like, whoa, I'm getting in the marijuana business. I'm gonna make so much money. And then they're like, whoa, why are there all these competitors everywhere? It's the same thing in the Bitcoin mining space, man. Like when I back in 2017, when I was like, I should get a bunch of miners. Look how much money I can make. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll find out eventually. And I did. Everybody gets excited about something. The people making the money are the picks and shovels guys. It was Nvidia and then AMD that were making all the money from that. It wasn't the miners, because the miners didn't have the best rates. They didn't have all this stuff. Now these guys are buying their stock back too. Institutional ownership's dropped, but then's flat. Short interest is growing. What do we got here? Are they paying themselves a lot of money? No. They were, though, back in 2020, man. They cashed in right around the pandemic time. They cashed in big. I just don't see anything good here, man. Just revenue declines and losing money. So no, I'm a hell no on the marijuana stocks. I'm rooting for them. I think that cannabis can actually be good for people in a number of ways. CBD and even just marijuana, probably not for your lungs. I mean, I don't know how they're going to, I don't think anything you're ingesting with your lungs, vaping or tobacco or any of that stuff is good for you. But I don't think cannabis is a bad thing. So you got my vote on wanting to support it. All right, so let's see. J-Ron again. You mentioned interest in assistance with your content, and I would love to help. I'm Forbes 30 under 30 recipient. Really, dude? Oh, kick ass, man. All right, I'll take note of that. Maybe we can figure something out. You should shoot me after this is over. Shoot me in the comments what your X ID is, so I can add you if you're not already, so we can chat. Wild Frenchie. Bonjour. Bonjour, my friend. All right. Hey, Jesse, did you sell 140 PayPal options? No, I haven't. I've never sold a PayPal option. Only buying. Albert Pavlukovic. Hopefully I didn't sacrifice that. They're getting better. Okay, cool. Sounds getting better. Saul Goodman. Who is that? Hey, Jesse, appreciate all you do. Can you look at CHWY? Is that Chewy or something? I can't remember. I know I got that one on my list. I can look. Stock is beat up. It is Chewy. It's a $7.1 billion company. And let me just see what. Growth isn't super great. They netted $34 million last quarter. It's a $7 billion company, and they're just like hit or miss on how much they make. And short interest isn't too high. It's 5%. But, I mean, are these guys growing, or are they just topped off? You know? What's your vote? I mean, maybe a little bit. I don't know if this is a projection. Does that say 2024? That seems weird. I'll have to, Alejandro, if you're in the chat, maybe you could look at that, see if that's right. Insider activity is just selling over the years, going back to 2019. Institutional ownership majorly dropped. Estimates are a little more income and maybe a little bit of positive net income and EPS. But stock-based comp is like 2%. I don't know. There's just nothing enticing here for me. They've dropped a lot, but they're still a $7 billion company that can't decide from one quarter to the next if they want to make money. That just seems like a slow death to me. So I'm out. I don't like Chewy, man. There's so many other better options. Rambler. Hey, Jesse, what up? Hey, what up, Rambler? Antonio Garcia, my friend. Jesse, can you please do TWOU? I can, and I will. TWOU. Pretty sure I got you. I don't have you. Oh, why did I think I had that one? All right, let me pull it up. TWOU. Yeah, so I'll try and tweak settings on the video. There's a bunch of stuff I need to do still. Now that I have a working machine that isn't going to crash all the fucking time. I just got to get the settings tuned up. So I'll try and do some of that tomorrow too while I'm reviewing markets so that it looks as good as possible tomorrow and you guys don't have to deal with me having to fire up another stream. Anyway, TWOU. 2U Inc. Whoa. 2U lose a lot of money. Holy, look at the monthly on that shit. Damn. $30 million market cap. This thing's a baby. It's a dying baby. That's sad. Nobody likes that. What is it? So I might scroll down here. If you can tell me, Antonio, like what might be interesting about this company. They seem to be pretty indebted, almost $1 billion. And they don't have a lot of cash. Kind of seems like they've gotten at dangerous levels here. 73 million in cash, almost $1 billion in debt, and they're diluting shares to just pay the bills. Losing 42 million a quarter. Flat on revenue for 3 years. I don't love it, man. Operating expenses are starting to come down, but so's their cash. This looks pretty bad. The only thing that one could say is positive, the only thing is you can see some spread here on operating leverage where they're starting to reduce expenses and gain more money. And you want to see that. But look, their revenue's going to go down. Nah, man, I'm out. They're buying it back, so they have some confidence, but institutions don't because the last several years they've been selling and short interest is up to double digit now at 14%. So maybe this is a rebounder. Maybe it comes back, but I don't know, man. This looks like a bankruptcy filing waiting to happen. But if you see anything get better in the future on it, let me scroll down and see if you said anything here. DLocal looking great, but I'm no expert. Hey, man, I'm no expert either, but I think it looks good. I didn't see Antonio respond. Okay, so we're just going to go back up, continue where I left off. Where did I leave off? Pumping down here, PayPal, Chewy. Okay, EB. Sean says, hey, Jesse, can you take a look at Eventbrite, EB? I feel like I had that one. Let me check. No. Let me go over here. Add it. Starting to get used to the quiet room, sitting by myself. Not as sad as it was. EB, okay. All right, Eventbrite. Let's see what these guys. Another pain train, but is it warranted or are they establishing a bottom? Oh, I don't have my moving averages on here. I should have. I got to make sure I'm copying these right. I do want to throw something in here real quick. So we'll do the standard, right? We'll do the RSI, the moving average convergence divergence, otherwise known as the MACD, and then we'll get our cute little volume profile up in here. I'll throw in a couple of simples. Well, you know, I'll do that later. I do need to change this though, because that sucks. So let's do this to our 1,000 so we get better view. We want to be very detailed in our analysis. All right, so interesting. Building up kind of a shelf here. If we can find support, that's interesting. Bullish divergence, you might actually have me interested, man. If these financials are remotely improving, I don't hate it. Because this is what you want right here. You want a company that's been utterly punished. And not like, this one isn't too bad. It's down like 73% or something. But again, down here too, you can see this little I mean, maybe it'll keep dropping more, but it's got a little bullish divergence, at least on the monthly. Let's see what the weekly looks like here. Same kind of thing. Higher, higher, higher. Beautiful. Yeah, so it carries over pretty good between both. So that's interesting. Definitely saving this one. Let's look up the company real quick. See what they do. And oh, I did change the latency this time, guys. So the chat should be a little more real time. Oh, I got to do this. And less delayed. So I'm probably going to do that each time. I'll do low latency so that we can have more of an active dialogue and there's not a weird delay between us. Thank you, H, for the $2. Thank you, Damien, for joining, man. Let's see here. Anybody? All right, so no comment? No comment. Okay, let me go back up here. So Eventbrite. Revenue's going up, yo. Since 2020. So the pandemic was roughing these guys. Who are you? Software application. Eventbrite is a leading global platform for ticketing and experience technology, empowering event creators in nearly 100. Oh, I can see why these guys got crushed in the pandemic. If they help event creators, that was probably not a good time. With intuitive, secure, and reliable tools to organize live and online events, with large festivals to webinars and workshops, founded by Julia Hartz, Kevin Hartz, companies revolutionize the experience economy by making it easy for anyone to create, share, and attend events, distributing over 200 million tickets to more than 4 million experiences in 2020. That's kind of cool. But they don't make money. But can they make money? What are our estimates? 23% year-over-year revenue growth. Still looking to grow and maybe getting close to break even. Institutional ownership just ticked up. Shorts just dropped down a little bit. Nothing for insider. But I don't hate that. What's our stock-based comp? 15% of earnings or revenue. Huh. You got me interested, man. I don't know if I'm interested right now in this company, but definitely a good one to follow. Nice technical setup. Will it hold? And will forecasting improve? I actually might keep an eye on this company. Maybe start looking at their earnings or something. Yeah, that's cool. Thank you for that. Thank you for EB. That's kind of fun. All right, what time is it right now? 4 o'clock. All right. Should have taken a potty break before. I wonder. Let me see something here. Never done this before. I'm going to start a poll. Should Jesse keep streaming after he takes a pee? All right, poll started, guys. So I might run for a second to go to the bathroom. Should I keep streaming? Because I'll be back in a second. All right, we got 100% so far. Let's see what happens here. See how our poll does. All right, you know what? Just for the heck of it, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick. And then if you guys are still around, we'll continue on here, okay? All right, I am back. Let me turn on my image here. How'd our poll turn out? 91%. That's a pretty good number. Sweet. All right, let's keep going. All right, so Eventbrite, that is on the short list. So I'll definitely check this out. And if it looks like a good company, it looks like it has a good future, I'm interested. All right, we're going to end the poll at 69 votes. Did I end it? I think I did. Okay. All right, where we at? Let me get back up here. Lots of requests. Got to get back to the beginning. Where was it? Got to do it in order. Be fair. All right, Chewy, CleanSpark. I look even better. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. Noted. Don't call them a flip. All right, so hopefully I didn't miss one here, but I'm scanning down. It's okay to flip-flop. Okay. Thank you, sir. Not a flip-flopper. You got to take profits. Yes, Lisa, you do. All right, Sealess. 1997, Gateway 2000. Yeah, I used to work there at that time. I'm trying to remember what I was doing. I think I was tech support. Long oil as a hedge. I already responded to that. Let me see here. Scrolling down. It's been long since 68. Where's another request? Nikki. Right, the more you think about it, it doesn't even matter. All right, I don't know what we're saying. Lisa Marie, I will be very surprised if there is a cut in June. Something will be broken. Yeah, I disagree. I disagree, but we'll see. I actually think the global economy is weaker than people realize. But we'll find out more. I'd say we'll have a much clearer indication in a month. Which bank is falling? The SPY keeps falling. No banks. All right, Silas, let Tesla crush come down once more before they're obviously crushed. I hope it comes down. I really want it to go down. I hope it comes down. I hope Bitcoin and Tesla go down. Bring all the pains so I could dip. So I can dip by. Nikki, I turned into a Tesla Bitcoin maxi laughing my ass off. I've never thought this would happen. Dude, I mean, two of the best investments on the planet. So I don't think you're doing something wrong there. Ugyen, Thinlay. Hopefully I'm saying it right, man. Hey, Jesse, on CLSK, at what price point does buying leaps make sense? To me, it doesn't make any sense at all, right? Not at this stage, man. So being a good investor is a couple of things. It's not, somebody said this the other day in a video that I watched, and it was really good. I should have posted a little short or something about it. But they said being a good investor isn't about getting rich. People that try and get rich usually lose a lot of money. It's about risk management and long-term vision. And again, I trade and I do options and I do other stuff too. But I do that under the view of a long-term investment strategy. And when I go short-term, it's like the shortest I go is 6 months to a year strategy. It's not like, oh, I'm going to buy this and hold it for a month. So I just think it's important, right now with Bitcoin mining, you're already, it's a multiple of Bitcoin. And if you would have asked me a year ago if you should have gotten into options with CleanSpark, I would have said yes, because I was in them. I was in options when it was in the dollars range. But right now, it's a really crowded trade. And so I just don't think the return is worth it. The multiplier isn't worth it. You definitely shouldn't do 2026. Don't do 2026, because those will never pay out, and people will realize that. All right, Tech YYZ. Can we take a look at AMD? You think there's more downside? Maybe. AMD's been getting hit pretty good. I don't know. Chips have run so hard. I feel like they're going to get beat up now for a little bit. While we see, if I'm right about another 5-6% downside in traditional markets, maybe. I will say this, though. Here's what AMD has going for it. Previous all-time high in November of 2021 should start to act as support. Do I have the volume profile on this one? All right, we got to add that. We got to add that, guys. Come on. All right. So I got to tweak this a little bit. Let me just get that range in there on this one. Gotta clean my charts up, man. Don't want to have bad looking charts. Row size. All right. So we'll save this one this way. Make sure this is in log too, since it's all jacked up. You in log? You're not in log. Let's fix that. All right, I'm going to do automatic for a second. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is a more clean image here. So do I think we found the bot? We might have. I mean, we might have. It could test lower, But it's nice that we're getting back towards this previous fib. And so once you get this in log, like it should be properly, and I'll just delete this line now because we don't really need it. You can see how we're hitting, previous resistance. So that's good. Could it go down further? Yes, it could go down to this next level here, where it kind of broke out of its cup and handle. And that would be the level in the 130 range, but it just all depends on what happens with markets. I'd say that would be a good long-term buy opportunity, but I don't know too much about, whether AMD is going to be able to produce the same stuff that NVIDIA is. I just haven't been keeping up with hardware enough, so I don't know much more beyond that. But the company is pretty decent, and let's look here real quick. Let's see what their forward guidance is, just super fast. So their estimates are kind of flat, but EPS is getting better, so net income's probably getting better. They're a $267 billion company that brought in 667 million. They got a PE that's 316 and a forward that's 54. That's rich, man. So I don't know. I wouldn't personally be getting too excited about AMD. Vagabond sounds good. I always join a few minutes late and catch up. 2x speed. Yeah, I do 2x all the time, dude. I take no offense to that whatsoever. I do the same. Jesse, you haven't sold any PayPal yet. We already talked about that. Candle didn't look good. Enphase, we already talked about. iRobot, I said I think they're going to be a bankrupt company. I'll show you real quickly iRobot just on the screen. If I'm right. This could be like ghost information in my brain that isn't reliable. But no, I think I'm right. I mean, look at this. So this looked good up until 2021, and then just look, it's precipitous, man. And now net income is negative $300 million. You got cash burn. You're going to have share dilution. These guys just aren't looking healthy as of late. Or I guess here, last quarter, 63 million. But it doesn't look healthy. They're increasing their debt loads, and their guidance is worse. It's worse for revenue. So yeah, that's why I don't like them. Upstart. Let me pull it up. See what the chart's looking like today. Oh, I think I have Hood saved in here. I should fix that. UPST. Let's just screw this chart up. Dropping 4.53%. It's underneath peak volumes, which means it could go lower. And is there a reason for that? Let me see here real quick, just to remind myself. I don't know this one off the top of my head. 7% year over year, negative 7%. And then debts are going up, and you're burning $42 million a quarter. You're diluting a little bit of shares. Your estimates look a little bit up. Not super great, but you're still a $2.2 billion company. And what else is going on? Nobody's doing anything. They're not selling. They're not buying. Institutional ownership has increased a little bit, and short interest has maybe declined. I don't know. There just isn't a lot of money here for a $2.2 billion company. Maybe it gets better in the future, but I don't know. Doesn't seem super. It's got 36% short interest. If that number's right, that's fucking insane. Is that right? That's fucking insane. Wow. So there's not a lot of love for this. It could, off of just a short interest spike, if the market does get better in the future, this thing could spike a little bit just from that, but it doesn't look like a company I'd want to own. Xerostomia. Hey Jesse, could you look at NNDM Nano Dimensions for me, please and thank you. Very kind of you, sir. Assuming you're a sir. It's hard to know if somebody's name starts with an X. All right. NNDM. Don't have it. Make a copy. NNDM. Okay. All right. Nano Dimensions. I like the name. What do they do? Let's see. Let's make sure that, yeah, okay. So this is log. That's good. It definitely looks like it's finding support. That's interesting. Let's look at this, the financials. This could be a good one. Or maybe it's shit. We'll find out. We're seeing some dramatic, starting Q4 2021. Pretty dramatic increases in revenue. Shares are actually going down. Cash is going down. Operating expenses flat. Nope, not positive cash flow yet. Operating expenses are outweighing income or revenue, but that looks like they're going to start converging towards each other. Doesn't look like I have estimates for these guys. I don't know. This might be a good one to monitor. What's their market cap? 551 million, bringing in 14 million in revenue. Oh, computer hardware. Let me read what these guys do. Specializes in creating intelligent machines for additively manufactured electronics, AIM, focusing on the rapid production of high-fidelity active electromechanical sub-assemblies crucial for advanced technologies in drones, cars, satellite smartphones, medical devices. The flagship Dragonfly LDM system revolutionizes the industry by enabling on-site and prototyping, enhancing device performance, and ensuring intellectual property protection, thus significantly accelerating the development and production of high-performance electronic devices, iPads across various sectors. Holy shivets, that was a mouthful. I mean, I like the revenue growth over year. Oh, excuse me, a little yawny. But I don't like the burn. What is that, $66 million in a quarter? So this might be an interesting one for just to keep an eye on. I will make a note of that. And NDM. So I'll keep an eye on earnings to see if they get better. All right, what else we got? Did I miss anything? BTC. TMHC. Oh, but you're not a member. I didn't make this members only for the second stream, did I? Whoops. All right, so I'm probably gonna skip that. Members only for the requests, guys. Sorry. Has Flux given future profitability guidance? Yeah, they have some. Guidance is higher, but I don't know much more than that. I was surprised to hear Amit say you flip-flop too, like you say data changes all the time. Anybody know what platform, Jesse? All right, I think I already responded to that. Normal charging at any plugin also. Just gave you software, read above. Thoughts on crypto, ING or INJ. Let's look at it. So we're going crypto real quick. I don't know if I already have this one. I should, because I've got it. It's Injective. I think that's the one of the, let me know, Chris, is that from the Atom or Cosmos? Is that what it's based off of, that layer one? Oh, no, I shouldn't do that. I should do copy. Pupe. INJ. I think these guys have been out long enough where I should be able to paint a picture pretty easy. I'm going to try Coinbase. Maybe it's not the best one. It looks like it could drop. It looks like a double top. Looks like a double top with potential to go to 18. But let's see if I got a better pair I can look at. Let's check Binance. That's a better pair. Okay, so let's look here. I'm going to try this. Do a trend-based fib extension. So it's trying to find support, but it looks like a double top. So that's not super great. I think we're going to break lower, especially if Bitcoin drops like I think it's going to. Then I think you want to look at this thing around 20. Shitcoins can get cut in half really quick. Might be the last good buying opportunity for shitcoins. Maybe I'll have to think about adding a little bit more. Yeah, that could be interesting. All right. Anyway, let me see here. Gap from 2000 on MicroStrategy fills towards. Yeah, it could. That's where we start to get some trend line support too on MicroStrategy is around the 2000 to 2150 range. Don't you be jinxing my MSTR. Sorry. Nikki, could sympathy play for SpaceX mission? Bro, SPCE is all-time low. Can definitely go to the moon. I mean, they can hopefully go to the moon physically, but I don't think it's doing very good. I'll just look at, was this one of the ones that spiked off of like literally a lunar landing or something? I'm trying to remember. No, that's just Virgin Galactic. Yeah, it was a different one. The revenue's increasing. How much money are they still losing? $100 million a quarter. Ouch. More revenue increases, but they can't figure out how to make money. Little baby buys for insider. Institutional is increasing. Short interest is 20%. I don't know, man. If you got insider information on why this company's going to do better in the future, I'd be interested. But space is a hard fucking business. And I think SpaceX is taking all. I don't even know who number 2 is anymore, man. Not in space. There isn't one. Let me see here. Palantir. I already looked at Palantir, so you'd have to go back earlier. That's actually one I bought. I think I bought $100,000 worth today or something. Maybe it was less. I don't know. I think it was around that. EPA did just announce $20 billion of new solar grants today. Another $7 billion coming soon. Ah, that's cool. Huh. All right. Maybe that's why. That should be interesting for. I wonder if Enphase gets any of that money. What was this called? Which one did you want me to look at? FWIW? Let me see if I already have that one. I know I got a few solar stocks in here. No. All right, let me make a copy. FWIW. That's cool. Yeah, that's a decent amount of money, man. The EPA. Huh. Government always finds ways to spend money. FWIW. What is the stock ticker again? FWIW? Is that the name of is that the ticker symbol? I don't even see it. Is that supposed to be a ticker symbol? Let me scroll down. I don't see any comments. Yeah, I don't know if that was supposed to be a ticker symbol, but I don't see it, bro. Let me go back. Where did I leave off? Space Surge. Let's go to Surge. All right, so I'm going to rename this one. We're going to do Surge unless I can figure out what that other one is. And then I'll rename it over here. All right, and who's this coming from? Joe, not a member. All right, you get a freebie here, Joe. But you got to be a member to get ones in the future. So if you want that, it's $3 a month. Not too much. Hey, this looks good as far as finding peak volume. So let me go to the monthly here. It's an old chart. Whoa, that was goofy. Lots of crazy price action. Might have to fix the volume range profile. It got really weird. Oh, maybe there's something. There might have been some crazy. Oh yeah, there's really crazy volumes. Let me shorten this up to here. Some weird shit that happened in this company in the past. Really weird. All right, so we got a strong volume shelf underneath of us, a very strong one. Let me just make sure that this thing's set to 1,000 because I want to get the most accurate read. I might even have to go. Nope, it's 340. Don't love that number. I want to get the most minute of detail. Okay, so yeah, we got pretty strong volume sitting underneath of us, going back a ways. And if I zoom in a little more to the more relevant time frames, going back to 2018. Yeah, so we're at peak volume. So we are finding support there. What's this company doing, though? Are they worth it? Are they making progress? Surge Pays Inc. Revenue's been in decline since 2022. Net income was positive though, made 7 million, but more recently 3. What are estimates? Estimates are positive EPS and revenue going up. Institutional ownership dropping, short interest dropping. Stock-based comp is not super high. Operating expenses starting to climb while revenue drops. Don't love that look. It is a $75 million company. Their cash position has gotten a lot better, but they might be diluting shares. I can't quite tell. It's kind of hard to see here. 14,291. So they're diluting shares a little bit, but they're getting their cash position in a better place. I don't know why their operating expenses jumped hard last quarter and why their net income dropped. It'd be interesting to know if that's a one-off. Who are they? They're out of Memphis, Tennessee, established in 2006. Fast expanding fintech company focusing on the underbanked population. It leverages its blockchain software platform to offer a wide range of vital financial services, telecom, and product services, along with popular consumable goods. Huh. All right. I mean, they have real revenue, but it's in decline. Don't love that. It is cheap in comparison, though. I don't know. I really need to know if this is a real. So whenever anybody says blockchain, man, fuck, I just so don't trust it. Confirm what the company business looks like. Undervalued. So I'd be curious. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like they were just born from the blockchain bubbles, and but they do have revenue, which is more than most. So I'm interested. I'll take a look at it, but when I get some time. But it won't be at the top of the list. BTC's trying to bounce higher. Yeah, it looks like it. It's still above that that peak volume, but I don't love the wick. What's the longest holding period for a specific asset? I don't know what you mean. Costas. The green stuff is now legalized in Germany. Maybe that's why it pumped. Maybe. When cannabis companies get the green light to work with big banks, it'll end. Yeah, they need that for sure. But also, even if it becomes legal, then there's just it's a race of competition, and there's not all of them will survive. 90% of the companies will die, right? Like that's what we know. That's how business works. So you'll need to know which one will win. Even if all that happens, you need to know which one can win. CGC sponsored by and Bud Light. Yeah. Too many issues with the industry. I agree. Mark LeBlanc. Even Tanner made money from weed stocks, and we all know he doesn't smoke. I don't know, man. I think he's a closet smoker. He is going to Jamaica. That's what I'm saying, right? Tanner's obviously a pothead. Make sure you guys tell him I said that. Sealess, is equipment from 2017 still worth mining with? No. Fuck no. Fuck no. Just pure money loss. It's an expensive heater. Mark LeBlanc, I'd super chat you $420 for that, but I invested all my money on today's dip. Henry Padilla, hey Jesse, please take a look at INMD. Did we already do that? I know I did that recently. Let me see here. INMD. I think I've got that on my short list here too. Yeah, I do. Long, decent chart, needs better forecast. That's what I'm saying. So long, decent chart, needs better forecast. It looks like it dropped 4% today, bounced 2% in after hours. I like that I have these notes. I need to organize that better. That way I don't have to repeat the same patterns over and over again, and I can just tell my previous thoughts. So yeah, institutional ownership started to decline a little bit. Short interest has started to decline. Seen upticks here, and well, kind of flat still on revenue, but still holding all right on EPS, which isn't bad by any means. Net income is $56 million, and it's a $1.7 billion company. That's not bad, actually. This one isn't bad. It's not a bad company. I'm going to have to revise my notes here. Check options chains. All right, so I'm going to check options chains on this one because, I mean, again, the PE is 8.6 and forward is 8. So if these guys are in an industry, medical devices, if they're in a business where they can start doing better and better and better, it's nice that their operating expenses started to drop. I like that their cash flow is always positive, and they're building a nest egg here. That isn't bad. How much do they have? So they've got a bunch of cash and they're making money probably off those bonds. Well, I don't know. It depends on the duration. They got 600 million in bonds and 144 in cash. That is 6 million. That's not bad. Interesting company. Let's look at the chart some more. Really beat up. I don't hate it. I honestly don't hate it. I'll have to see. I mean, just getting up here to the first fib is 33 bucks. Yeah, I don't know. I'll see what this looks like and see if it's worth doing. It's amazing that, I mean, what range was that? October of 2021. Okay, so kind of like peak of the stock market rebound after the pandemic, they got up to almost $100 a share. And how were they doing around that time? I mean, they'd had a big jump in revenue. They've started to slow down a little bit, but net income is creeping higher. Almost 200 million last year. So I don't know. It'll be interesting if these guys can continue some growth. Then their 1.7 billion might not be too. That's the big thing. It's the 1.7 billion valuation, but 56 million. Again, the PE is low, so I mean they could go higher. I'm gonna make a note of that too. Low PE. All right, let's get off this one. What else we got? What time is it? It's 4:30. All right, I think I'm gonna call it here. The daughter's got taekwondo later tonight, and I told her I'd spend some time with her beforehand. So we'll have to do more of this later. Can we do fossil? We went offline. Oh, there. Can we do fossil? Fossil? Is that a thing? I see a $2 tip, but I don't know what FOSIL. Is that an actual stock? I can do that real quick. Pass out if you smoked. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, INMD looks interesting, man. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so I'll do that one for the tip here. If this is a stock, I'll try and find it and see if it's a stock. Is that Fossil Group? All right, I'll try and see. I'm gonna put. All right, I should have done this. Fossil Company. Okay, so is this it? Is Fossil Group Fossil Company? Oh, FOS. Yeah, okay, this is it. Woof. Is this the watch company? I used to love Fossil watches back when I was a kid. Wow, man, that's a precipitous decline. It just looks like shit. But it is finding higher highs in the RSI potentially, going back to 2016. This has been a painful chart. Let me see. This is a painful chart. Yeah, oh, it is the watch company. Okay, cool. Yeah, just negative 16% year over year earnings. Institutional ownership in decline. They started buying back recently. Insiders have. Short interest is at 14%. What are estimates? I don't have estimates, so I don't know if they're just not giving guidance. I mean, when a company isn't growing, it's dying. And I think that's the problem here. They don't make any money. Yeah, I wouldn't be interested in this, man. It's just like, even if I go back yearly here, this doesn't look healthy. It doesn't look healthy at all. So I wouldn't be interested in, personally, I wouldn't be interested in it, man. Anyway, I think I'm going to stop right here at this point. So you guys have a good rest of your day. I'm going to go out and enjoy life here with my daughter and my wife. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully it's a better day. We'll see if the markets bounce. They are a little bit in after hours. I'm seeing some bounce. So maybe we'll get a bounce into tomorrow. But tomorrow, remember, lots of jobs data. That unemployment rate is going to be super, super important. And if the unemployment rate spikes to 4%, I think we're going to have a painful day tomorrow. So, but anyway, I'm done for today. If you guys want to queue this up for tomorrow, I'll get the stream to where it's queued in and it looks better and sounds perfect and starts off correctly. So if you guys, and I'll fire it up earlier in the morning. And so if there's anything I missed tonight, guys, just throw it in the comments once it becomes available, and I'll post it on X like I normally do to let you guys know it's out there. Anyway, you guys take it easy. It was a pleasure, and I will talk to you later. Bye.